Nothing's ever easy with Barcelona. Nothing ever is. This transfer window. How many more lessons we want to learn? How many more harsh reality checks do we want to get from Barcelona? We just shouldn't do any business with these guys. It's too difficult and sometimes impossible.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Welcome back to the point, ladies and gentlemen. Man, just when I keep getting, I know a lot of you guys have warned me, have said, Miz, don't get too excited. Barcelona, nothing's over the line as yet. And it may still happen. But, oh man, it's sucking the energy out of me. Honestly, it really is sucking the energy out of me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the other side of the coin, by the way. Let's get straight into this. Some news dropped late UK time in regards to Ousmane Dembele, but also there's some negative conversations in regards to Marcos Alonso. There's a little bit about Frenkie De Jong. Look, at the end of the day, guys, probably none of it will happen. And I'll tell you what, we'll go through each and every single one of these properly, so we can get an understanding as to what's going on. So this is the latest. This is the latest from Gerard Romero, late UK yesterday. Aubameyang may not leave Barcelona now. The operation to Chelsea is not as clear as this morning. It doesn't mean it won't happen, though. So there's still hope. Aubameyang put a stop to the operation to Chelsea for now, Gerard Romero. And as I said, when it comes to Gerard Romero, Barcelona news, he's the boss. He's the absolute boss when it comes to Barcelona news. It's probably bigger than Fabrizio when it comes to Barcelona news. Now, look, let's look at this Aubameyang situation from all perspective. Let's have a look at from the player's perspective, first of all. This is just my feeling, and I want to share this with you guys. You let me know if it makes sense. Aubameyang, most likely, as a striker, won't be the first preference. It'll be Lewandowski, because obviously they spent a lot of money to bring in Lewandowski. They went through a lot of hardship to make sure that they can register him. So you'd think Lewandowski is going to be the preferred striker over Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang could potentially play on the left, could potentially play on the right. Not necessarily that he has to play through the middle, but they have Dembele, they've got Rafinha, they've got Ferran Torres. So you'd think in Aub's mind, there could be a scenario where he may not be favoured every single game. He will probably get game time, and Xavi has made it very evidently clear that he's still in his plans. But he shouldn't see regular minutes. That's just from my opinion. That's number one. Number two, the player supposedly, was on low pay when he first went from Arsenal to Barcelona. One of the stipulation was that he was going to get paid less, but then the following year his pay was going to rise, which happened, I believe. I mean, he was brought in last season, but somewhere in the middle, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong here, but some of the Barcelona fans are saying they initially started off at 80k, then it raised to 160, and this season it was meant to double, because that was apparently what the terms and conditions were. But as we all know, Barcelona, with the financial stress that they have, they can't give him the double pay. He's got to be on what they are, and we know very well Barcelona, every player they're bringing in, they're doing it on the merit that you're going to take a pay cut. They're not giving anyone a pay increase at the moment. Dembele took a 40% pay cut. I think Rafinha is on less money than what he was on Leeds. Frenkie De Jong, supposedly he's meant to take a reduction, or else he can see you later out of the gates. And this is the case with a lot of those players, right? Now, I don't know. Some people may say, how they're doing this, how these players coming in. Maybe they'll be promised that once, this season, if they can bag a few titles here and there, they're going to earn a lot more money. And maybe next season they'll make new deals with some of these attackers. But going back to the Aubameyang side of things, so you're not going to get game time. You're potentially not going to be earning as much as you want to earn. I guess the question is, as a 33-year-old, why do you want to stick around at Barcelona? I mean, sure, Barcelona will probably be one of the candidates to win the La Liga, but it ain't going to be easy because Real Madrid will be hot on the heels as well. It's not a foregone conclusion that 100% Barcelona is winning that. In the Champions League, there's a lot of good teams, so it's not another foregone conclusion that Barcelona will win it. So Aubameyang, from that perspective, why do you want to stay? Perhaps it's because you've conjured up a very good team. You want to play under Xavi. Maybe that's a reason. But overall, as a 33-year-old, you want to play on a regular basis, which you're not going to get. So that's Aubameyang's side of things. From Barcelona's side of things, this is what I'm understanding, right? Once again, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I think Xavi wants him. Xavi knows that you can't last the entire season just with Lewandowski. There has to be some rotation, and you need Aubameyang's help because his quality. Yes, they do have Ansu Fati. Memphis Depay is going to be leaving. At times, they could play with a false nine, but you still need someone like Aubameyang. However, I think Barcelona board are probably looking at this scenario thinking, well, Frenkie De Jong's not going. We need players to make some move here because they haven't yet registered Jules Koundé, and they need to register Jules Koundé. So from a board perspective, I think they are okay for him to go, but at the right price. I think it's at the right price. They wanted 30 million euros. And this is what I've been saying in my previous video. If you don't get close to that, I don't think they're in a situation where they 100% have got to let him go, because they'll just tell Aubameyang, you're not going to get that pay rise. You're going to have to stick with the pay that you have. It's up to you. Either you stay or go, but you're going to go on our merits. Do you know what I mean? So from the board's point of view, they're okay for him to go, but at the same time on their merits, and Xavi at the same time doesn't want him to go. From Chelsea's perspective, we need attackers. We cannot continue on for the rest of the season with Havertz and Broja, and Broja's still injured. God knows how many more injuries he may pick up. Touch wood, he doesn't pick up any more injuries. And on top of that, you need these players to bang in goals. And right now, Havertz is finding it difficult to bang in goals. And Broja, we've not really got to see him properly. So just to bank everything on these two players is going to be crazy. And this is why I've been saying we don't have the power to dictate in the market. We don't. And I feel in this situation with Aubameyang, I still think maybe it will happen. I have a feeling Aubameyang, at the end of the day, you're going to come to Chelsea Football Club. You're going to start. Undoubtedly, you will start for us. And we will give you, and I think latest that we've heard, the news that was going around, that personal terms shouldn't be an issue. So whatever you want, you're probably going to get with Chelsea Football Club. But if Chelsea don't give the kind of money that we need to give to Barcelona, then this is probably not going to happen. Now, some of you guys may think, Miz, we don't want to bend over backwards for Barcelona. I get it. But if you want a player like Aubameyang, maybe this is what needs to happen. Now, on top of that, some people are saying, forget about Aubameyang. Let's focus on Ivan Toney. And I'll get to Ivan Toney very, very soon. Now, the other news in regards to the whole Barcelona situation, we'll just have a quick look at this one. Chelsea and Barcelona have been in talks over the signing of striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but have so far failed to find an agreement. As I said, Barcelona won 30 million euros, and we're apparently looking at somewhere around probably 21 million pounds all up. That's the fee of Aubameyang plus add-ons, and also we're looking to, offload Alonso to them. So there's that discount for Alonso as well. But here's a spanner for the Alonso. You thought, okay, fine, if it's not Aubameyang, but at least take Alonso. We were so happy that we're going to be able to get rid of Alonso. We've just been able to get rid of Emerson. Hopefully that's going to be completely confirmed. It's getting closer and closer to here we go, but you never know what can happen there. Hopefully Emerson gets going, because as I said, we've got Cucurella, we've got Ben Chilwell. There's no room for these players anymore. They've got to go. Emerson's on the way. Alonso on the other side, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought maybe we can do something with Barcelona, think again. My best guess is Balde's impressed Xavi to such an extent that those within generally deem the signing of Marcos Alonso to be redundant, to which I completely agree. Now, recently I did a live, and someone said, Miz, we should look into Balde. And I was like, who is this Balde? Like, I've got no idea who this Balde guy is, or Balde. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Balde or Balde. I don't know. He's apparently the latest sensation in Barcelona on the left side. Jordi Alba understudy. Prodigy. Do you know what I mean? Like, these guys, Barcelona are very excited about this particular player. And this is what Xavi had to say about Alejandro Balde. Yes, we count on him. He had a good preseason and is a good guy who can compete with Jordi Alba. Left-sided player, compete with Jordi Alba. Now ask yourself, is Alonso actually going to happen or not? Here we were getting so excited that hopefully we're getting an opportunity to get rid of Alonso, but don't be surprised if he stays for one more season, and don't be surprised if he ends up signing a contract extension. I can't believe this could potentially be one of the situation. And recently, we all know what happened with Alonso. He's back in training. I understand Marcos Alonso has returned to Chelsea training. Sources tell Di Marzio Alonso's move to Barcelona is still promised with a verbal agreement in place. Verbal agreement, please understand. Verbal agreement. Look, I'm just so mad with Barcelona, man. It's too difficult. Too difficult. Rafinha, Dembele, Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé may be partly our fault. A lot of it our fault. Now with Aubameyang, Alonso, Azpilicueta, we can't do anything with these guys. We really cannot do anything with these guys. And I'm starting to think, as much as I love Todd Bowley and all the other deals that he's done by having a meal, but what meal did you have with Barcelona? Because nothing seems to be working with Barcelona. These guys are doing us every single time. So the Marcos Alonso situation could be in trouble because of this brother called Alejandro Balde. Now, you guys let me know in people in the comments. What do you think about Alejandro Balde? Is he all that? Is he really all that? So look, there's issues with the Aubameyang situation. There's issues with the Alonso situation. And now I want to talk about quickly in regards to Frenkie De Jong before we go to Ivan Toney, because if it's not Aubameyang, we need to start thinking about someone else. Frenkie De Jong's wife doesn't want to go anywhere, but Frenkie doesn't want to reduce salary. So one of the things that Barcelona said that if you have to take 50%, 40, 50%, a big reduction, he doesn't want to do that. And if you don't want to do that, but Frenkie doesn't want to reduce the salary and doesn't want to go Manchester either. So if you don't want to do that, Barcelona is saying you got to go, but he doesn't want to go. And his wife doesn't want to leave either. Do you know what I mean? Some of these players and their wives, man, they pretty much control where their destinations are sometimes. We all know what happened to Hakimi as well. So, look, I don't want to get too excited about Frenkie De Jong. I'll lose my mind if he becomes a Chelsea player. I literally will dance around all day long. But right now, I don't have the energy about Frenkie De Jong because this guy, if he wanted to be a Chelsea player or even a Man United player, he would have been their player or our player by now. Simple as that. The fact is, he wants to stick around at Barcelona. And you know what? Good luck to you. Stick around at Barcelona. Now, in regards to Ivan Toney, I've been saying, if it's not Aubameyang, then what? Because we need something up front. We cannot continue like this. Chelsea and Everton have joined Manchester United in weighing up moves of Brentford's Ivan Toney. Tuchel's side could switch their sights to Toney if a move for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang fails. This is from Tom Hopkinson, who is a chief sports reporter of the Sunday Mirror and Sunday People. I just want to quickly show you Ivan Toney before last night's game. Ivan Toney in the first two Premier League games of the season, 6 chances created, 2 goals, 2 assists, 1 goal. Obviously, we know he scored a goal yesterday as well. This is just quickly Ivan Toney's record so far this season. Just bear with me. Three Premier League goals. Let me see if I can increase that. There we go. 3 Premier League goals, 2 assists. A goal against Leicester, 2 assists against Man United, 1 goal against Fulham. I mean, this guy's buzzing. 90 minutes. Look, Ivan Toney, 100% is a good prospect. There's no doubt about that. But there are a couple of issues. Let me talk about some of the issues. First of all, his contract is till 2025. Let me just quickly bring this up. He's contracted to Brentford for 2025. Now, recently, don't even worry about recently. Anthony Gordon, understand the two situations, right? Ivan Toney is at least an experienced player in the Premier League, but he's been playing and you know how well he's been doing in the Championship as well prior to that. So at least Ivan Toney has a bit of hype. Anthony Gordon is someone who's a very good player, don't get me wrong, for Everton. He's had 1 proper season at Everton so far, not even the full season. Prior to that, I don't know, and don't even think anyone really knows what Anthony Gordon was up to prior to that. At least with Ivan Toney, people knew what he was doing, damage he was doing in the Championship. If Anthony Gordon is somewhere around touted to be 45 to 50 million, and then there's that Wolves brother Gibbs White or something like that. Nottingham Forest bought him for about 42 million. If those players are around that price range, how much do you think Ivan Toney is worth? If Anthony Gordon's worth about 50 million in this market, how much do you think Ivan Toney? Ivan Toney, the contract is there till 2025. 2025, so we've got 3 more seasons. And he is one of the not only top players of Brentford, but one of the top strikers in the Premier League, you're going to have to say. He's going to be minimum, in my estimation, probably somewhere around 60 to 65 million pounds, right? We're trying to secure Aubameyang for about 15 to 20 million pounds. Ivan Toney could potentially be about 60 to 65 million. Now, I think he's a very good talent, but is he the right striker, right kind of player up front? Because Ivan Toney, I don't think he's fluid up front. I don't think he'd play on the right. I don't think he's a proper number 9. He's one of those players, very good. Yes, he's mobile. He's not going to be static. He's mobile. But I don't think, personally, he fits what Thomas Tuchel wants to do with a striker. Ivan Toney is going to be literally a proper number 9, will be in the box, in and around the box. It's got good movement, good on tight spaces, good finishing ability. But you're not going to get that flexibility tactically from Ivan Toney as much as what Thomas Tuchel likes. Because for me, this is the kind of sort of characteristic, the profile of what Lukaku was. Take away the differences of the personalities. I'm talking about the profile. This is, his I suppose, mentality. You can say, okay, fine, better than Lukaku, and that's why he may fit in. But in terms of the profile, this is no different. You're going to have to sometimes play the ball behind him as well to run into it. You're going to have to play the ball to his feet. He's not going to be someone who's going to be looking for quick link-ups, or sometimes he drifts to the right, sometimes he drifts to the left and allows for others to come in through the middle, or sometimes you'll come to midfield and link up play. You're not going to get that with Ivan Toney, right? But you're going to get other things that Brentford does. So price is an issue, in my opinion. The profile, I don't know if it completely fits Thomas Tuchel. And if you're ever thinking about down the track that you want someone else, Ivan Toney is not coming to Chelsea Football Club for a 2-year or 3-year contract. You're going to have to tie him down for 5 years. You're going to have to pay big money. You're going to have to tie him down for 5 years or so. And then only this is a deal. And the other factor is we're leaving way too late for Brentford to find a replacement. He's a main player, if the main player, if not one of the main player. Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the issues. And one last issue for me for Ivan Toney is attitude-wise. Like, yes, mentality may be strong, but in terms of attitude, there was a little bit of drama earlier on in the summer in regards to when he got drunk or something like that, saying, I hate Brentford or something like that. You could potentially have that kind of scenario with Ivan Toney, which I just don't want to get into all of that situation. This is what Vince had to say, which kind of made a lot of sense to me. This Ivan Toney shout is getting stronger, but I don't think he's a dynamic striker that will pop up in pockets and connect things like Jesus. 100%. Gabriel Jesus and Ivan Toney are not the same players. We want, or I believe Tuchel would like a player like Jesus, that kind of profile. Ivan Toney is not that. At least Aubameyang will be able to do similar things like Jesus does. Not to, I suppose, what Jesus does in terms of being so flexible up front, maybe not to that level, but at least Aubameyang can provide. And this is why Thomas Tuchel has been going for Aubameyang, because he's worked with Aubameyang. He looks like a target man that runs channels. There you go. Looks like a target man that runs channels with good hold-up play, but I have my doubt if we can play to his strengths. This is what I was saying in regards to that Lukaku situation. It's the same profile. So that's my thoughts about Ivan Toney. You guys let me know how you feel about it. There's talks about Wilfried Zaha. I've been saying I'm pro Wilfried Zaha. Some of you guys are not excited about him. He's banged in 2 more goals. Yes, he's going to miss opportunity every now and then, but look at our players. They miss opportunities as well. At least he knows how to put away chances as well. So, but you're not going to play Zaha up front. We probably need Zaha anyway, because our brothers, Christian Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Ziyech, they all want to desperately leave Chelsea Football Club. And I think maybe we can get Zaha by sending Callum Hudson-Odoi on the other side in Crystal Palace. London move probably might suit. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Zaha on his last year. That could be a bit of a scenario for us. But I had to bring this up. If it's not Zaha, if it's not Toney, if it's not Aubameyang, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying. You let me know. Are we there yet? Let me know how you feel about everything we've talked about, ladies and gentlemen. Aubameyang, we've talked about Ivan Toney. But can we forget about this man? I just want to leave it out there. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time. See ya.